Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Hunt's Hot Takes, and it is kickoff weekend. Couldn't be more excited to be back with you all. Game tonight, Chiefs-Texans. Kickoff around 8:15. It's finally here. Again, I'm bringing back Mark Milam with me. Today, we're going to be doing Week 1 predictions for the NFL. And just going to touch on a couple quick NFL news. Mark, man, on a scale of 1 to infinity, how excited are you to have the NFL back this weekend?
Infinity, brother. I cannot wait. I'm excited to have some football in my life again. I thought it might not even happen this year, but I'm glad it is. And I know you're pretty happy about it.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I'm on infinity right there with you. So real quick, let's just jump into a couple big news in the NFL. This is kind of since we last had our last episode, these things have happened. And one of the biggest things is Leonard Fournette to the Buccaneers. As if they couldn't have more talent already. Jacksonville, they cut him. They couldn't get a trade partner. And what do you know? The Buccaneers swooped in and signed Leonard Fournette to really bolster that offense, because that was really their weakest spot, was running back. And now they got a top 10 back, man. He's a workhorse. He's a powerhouse. The Buccaneers, man, they're looking awful, awful stacked. Mark, what do you think about that Leonard Fournette signing there in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it's just what they needed. And even that last podcast we did, we said, I mean, it was recorded maybe a few hours before that news broke. And we were both like, yeah, they just don't have a running back. That's really the only thing they need. And lo and behold, they got Leonard Fournette. I mean, that's a pretty good pickup. I really don't know how they could have got any more lucky than that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the last thing we need is Brady having more weapons.
Yeah.
Another thing, more somber news, Von Miller suffered a dislocated peroneal tendon in his ankle. And he's actually one of my favorite defense players in the league. And they think it's actually season-ending. And it happened on the last play of practice. So tough news for the Broncos. I had high hopes for them this year. And sadly, I think he's that big of a player to where it really could impact them win-wise. Him and Bradley Chubb on the ends were really a good duo. So let's just hope Von Miller's able to heal quick, and tough break there for the Broncos.
Big time.
The Rams gave Jalen Ramsey huge extension. 5 years, $105 million for Jalen Ramsey. He's back in that upper echelon of top paid corners. I know he had some drama in Jacksonville. Now he's with the Rams. I still think he's probably one of the top 1 or 2 corners in the league. What do you think about that, Mark?
I don't know. I didn't think he did. I mean, everyone thought last year when he got signed by the Rams, he's just going to turn that defense back around, but I don't remember him having that big of an impact. And, I mean, he's obviously one of the top 5 for sure. I mean, because corners are hard to come by. And I guess maybe he did deserve that contract, but I don't know. He seemed like he was more on the downtrend than anything else, in my opinion.
Okay. And one last NFL news note before we jump into Week 1 is the Bears decided to go with Mitchell Trubisky as their Week 1 starter over Nick Foles. And I'm going to give my vote approval. I'm going to give that approval. I would have went with Trubisky as well over Nick Foles.
Agreed.
He's been in that offense. And again, I'm not as high on Nick Foles as everyone else has been. So I think as long as Trubisky can be consistent, that job is his. So you do agree with me that you would have went Trubisky over Foles?
Yeah, it opens up the offense a little more. It's going to allow him to do some run option and just get him outside the pocket. You can't really do that as easily with Nick Foles, so I think it just gives him a lot of opportunity on that offense.
Totally agree there. All right, let's jump into our Week 1 predictions. I'm very excited to get into that. No more, training camp news, off-season news. We didn't have a preseason. We can finally predict Week 1. So let's do it. So Thursday night, tonight, we got Texans at defending Super Bowl Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 9 to kick off the season. and I'm going to agree with that prediction from ESPN. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. They're very, very high-powered. I'm excited for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, their rookie running back, to see what he can do. I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout, though. I think it'll be a little closer than people think. Without the preseason, I think everyone's going to be rusty. I still think Mahomes puts up huge numbers, and I'm really excited to see what Deshaun Watson can do with his new weapons, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller. If they're both healthy, really excited to see what kind of dynamic they bring to the Texans offense. So give me the Chiefs in that one. Mark, let's hit it.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs as well. I agree with you. I think every team this week is going to seem rusty, and I think there's going to be a lot of upsets, if you want to call them that. But, I have the Chiefs winning this one. I could see them blowing them out or it being really close. It just really depends on where the Texans' defense is at, because it's usually a little easier for the offense to get going than the defense. So if Pat Mahomes is firing on all cylinders, they're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. All right, jump into a couple 1 o'clock games. Let's knock them out. We got your Seattle Seahawks at the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle's favored by 1.5. I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons at home. I like the addition of Gurley, Ridley, and Jones on the outside. I think the defense will get back up to that Super Bowl caliber that they were a couple years ago. And, of course, Matt Ryan slinging it all over the place against Atlanta. I saw Seattle's pass defense was a little weak last season. I felt like to cover against the Falcons offense week 1 right away, I think it'll be a little too much. I have a close game, but I'm taking the Falcons at home. Mark, please surprise me.
Yeah, nope, I'm picking the Seahawks. I could see Russell Wilson going off. He wants to open up that offense and just throw the ball down the field more, and I think that's what we see tomorrow. Our secondary is not that bad. I mean, we kind of hung our hat on our secondary and our linebacker core last year. But it's really, I think it's going to come down to the pass rush. If we can get some pressure on Matt Ryan, I think we have a chance to win the game. I agree, though. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a close game. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Russell Wilson drive to finish it.
And I can see a shootout, definitely like high 20s, last second drive, either from Atlanta or Seattle. I like that. Moving over to Jets and Bills, not as a sexy game, but it is what it is. We got the Jets at the Bills. Bills favored 6.5 at home. I'm also taking the Bills there. I think Josh Allen has a breakout season. We've talked about that. Devin Singletary, I think, has a coming out party at running back. I think he should be the RB1 there. And I do like the Jets this season offensively. If Darnold doesn't get the chlamydia again, Le'Veon Bell has a full season under his belt now. I think he'll look better. But still, I like the Bills overall as a team. Offense, defense, much better than the Jets. So give me the Bills at home in that one.
Yeah, easy. Take the Bills in that one, Jacob. I don't see the Jets having a chance. I think they're going to be terrible this year.
Terrible. Alrighty, so next one we got the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Division matchup. We're going to see a lot of those this week. And they like Detroit by 3. I also like the Detroit Lions at home. Again, our NFC rankings, I'm not high on Chicago this season. I like Detroit a little bit better than I do Chicago. Matthew Stafford will open us up week 1 at home. Firing on all cylinders. So I'll take Detroit Lions at home over the Bears. I see a very close game. Anywhere from 3 points to 10 points in that range. Give me the Lions at home against the Bears. Mark, who you got?
I got the Bears in this one. I don't think the Lions are going to be that good this year, and I really do not see them getting over 6 wins. Like, I'd be very surprised if they did. I think the Bears just have a better offense. I mean, and that's probably going to be kind of people wouldn't agree with that, but I really like the Bears head coach. I think he's very innovative on offense, and I think that's what's going to matter. And they still got Khalil Mack on the defense, so I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 3 sacks tomorrow because everybody's so rusty. I just see the Bears winning fairly easy. Actually, I don't think it's a high-scoring game either, but I could see it being 21-10 to the Bears.
Disagree with you there. All right, guys. So actually, real quick, we got a new segment that we're doing here on Hunt's Hot Takes. It's actually our friend Shay Huffman has wonderfully joined our crew here. And we're going to call it Shay's Shoe-In. So each week, Shay is going to give us 3 games that he thinks you can make the most money on. So this is for you guys who like to bet, like to gamble a little bit on the games. He's going to give you his 3 shoe-ins for the week. So let's jump over to Shay real quick and see what his shoe-ins are for this week.
What's going on, everybody? We have a new segment here on Hunt's Hot Takes. We got Shay's shoe-ins. What I'm going to be doing is telling y'all what games to pick that's going to win you the most amount of money. So first off, I have Colts over the Jags. Not only am I picking them to win, I'm picking them to cover the spread. I got Colts easy. Spread is -7.5 to the Colts. So basically what that means, they have to win by 8 or more. Do not worry. I have Colts winning by at least 10. I know Hunt's going to love that one. I got him probably winning 13 or 14 points, but at least 10 for sure. Lock in the Colts. Next, I like this one. Patriots versus Miami. Take the spread. For sure, take spread. You don't even just have to pick them straight up. You can. It's a little bit safer. Take the spread, though. -6.5 to the Pats. I feel like Belichick's going to come out with a great game plan. Newton's going to have a lot to prove. I think Cam has a monster game this weekend. We'll see about that one. And then last but not least, this one might be a little biased, but I like the Eagles here. Washington over Washington, -5.5. I like that on the spread too. Eagles definitely win. I think Washington has really good defense. I don't think their offense is there yet. So I can see Eagles winning by 7. I think they win by 7, maybe 10 at max, but they definitely cover the 5.5. And I'm going to throw in a little extra one here for y'all. I got an underdog pick. Tampa Bay is underdogs against the Saints. Tom Brady is going to want to come out and show what he can do. Give me Tampa Bay straight up as the underdog this weekend. And that right there is Shay's shoe-ins of the week, baby.
All right, man. We really appreciate that, Shay. Those are great picks. I totally agree with those. And again, guys, that was Shay's 3 shoe-ins for the week. He'll be back every single week throughout the season to do that for us. Love you, Shay. Let's jump back into our game picks for this week. Going back to the Packers at the Vikings. This one could be interesting. They actually have Minnesota favored at home by 2.5. I'm taking Green Bay. I think this will be one of the better games of the week. But I love Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. Man, he tore up Minnesota last year in both of those meetings. I think the Vikings offense will take a little time to get used to not having that outside threat with Diggs, but I think Thielen can kind of make up for it. Of course, Dalvin Cook's is still with Minnesota. And they also just got Ngakoue from Jacksonville as a pass rusher, so that actually could be a huge X factor on slowing down Aaron Rodgers. But again, Rodgers is still the big brother in that division, and until other teams prove they can beat him, give me the Packers at Minnesota. Mark, how about you?
Yeah, I'm picking the Packers too. I'm really surprised that they're an underdog in this game. I can't get my head around that. I don't know where they came up with that, but yeah, I see the Packers winning. It might be a really low scoring game too. I mean, I could see. I mean, both the defenses just battling it out. Yeah, so I could see it. 10-14 type of game, if that. So yeah, I'm taking the Packers. Though I think they got the edge. The running backs, Aaron Rodgers, obviously. And you got Devontae Adams, which is always nice too. But yeah, let's take the Packers in this one.
Okay. All right, so one of Shay's shoe-ins here, we got the Dolphins at the Patriots. Shay obviously went with the Patriots on this one. Like you said, it's 6.5. And I'm going to agree here. I'm going to take the Patriots at home. I don't see Miami coming in to New England with a Bill Belichick prepared team. I think Cam Newton really wants to show week 1 he's ready to go. And again, Tua's not quite the guy yet. They're still going with Ryan Fitzpatrick week 1. So I think Patriots, even though no Brady, even though they had some really good guys sit out because of COVID, I'm still taking the Patriots at home. Until they prove otherwise, that they're not the same team, I will roll with them as usual. Mark, though, maybe going a different direction. Explain this.
Yeah, so I got my upset of the week is going to have to go to the Dolphins. I think there's so many unanswered questions about the Patriots. You know, how are they going to be without Brady? They lost a lot of players in the defense. So is their defense as good as last year's? How's their offense going to be with Cam Newton? Or, you know, there's just so many questions about the Patriots, and they just have a lot of things to figure out. I can see the Dolphins pulling up the upset here, not because they're the better team, but just because it's just the beginning of the season. And honestly, the Patriots are kind of they're kind of notorious for losing a couple games at the beginning of the season, then going on some crazy runs.
That's very true.
In October,
very true.
November. Yeah,
happens every year. But what I like is Shay is like, this is my shoe-in. This is what's going to happen. Put your money on it. And Mark's like, time out. This is upset of the week. So I'm really excited to see what happens there in that game, since we got a shoe-in, but on the other side we got upset of the week. So you guys can kind of hash that out when that happens.
yeah.
Back to another Shay shoe-in. We have Philadelphia at Washington. Again, Philly favored by 6. I'm also going to go over. I think Philly should win more than 6. They're a much better team. I will say, little red flag, though. Again, touched on it last week. Carson Wentz has a soft tissue injury. They're not saying it's a big deal. Miles Sanders' week 1 role looks limited, which is very aggravating because I have him in fantasy, and I'm like, already, I dealt with injuries last year. Already got a running back hurt. That's another story. But again, man, Philly needs to stay healthy. Even with a limited role from Sanders and maybe a 90-ish% Carson Wentz, I still see them beating Washington by more than 6. I am excited to see Dwayne Haskins, though, kind of be the guy this year. Can Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, continue that role? And again, they got a lot of question marks at running backs. So we'll see. Mark, I'll give you some time to touch on Philly and Washington.
Yeah, I got Philly in this one too. And man, it's always something with Carson Wentz, dude. I drafted him on my
He's so good. He's so good, though.
I know.
I promise
he's
people.
so good when he's healthy with terrible receivers. But man, if he cannot stay healthy, that team is in trouble. Like, their defense is not good. Their running back situation is a little better. Wide receiving core is not that great either. But yeah, I still think the Eagles pull this one out, and I think they win fairly easy. Washington has potential to be the worst team in the NFL next year, so easy win for Eagles in my opinion.
Your boy Whitty ain't too happy about that one.
Oh no, he actually wants the Redskins to finish last so they can get a good pick next year.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I've always said Carson Wentz is the Andrew Luck NFC version. I've always said it. They're so similar. They're sneaky out of the pocket, huge arm, but for some reason, man, it's just injuries, and I hate that. I hope Wentz can get right this season.
Yeah, me too.
Jump into the Raiders at the Panthers. Pretty interesting game here. You normally don't see AFC versus NFC week 1, but I kind of like it. You know, we got the new Las Vegas Raiders at Carolina. A lot of storylines there. Teddy Bridgewater is the new quarterback in Carolina. They actually have, ESPN has Las Vegas by 3. The Raiders by 3. This isn't my upset of the week, but I'm still actually going to take the Panthers at home over the Raiders. I do like the Raiders this season, but people forget Bridgewater was nice in Minnesota. He was nice in New Orleans, man. I think he's going to make a big difference in Carolina. I don't see the Raiders stopping Christian McCaffrey at all. I think the car will get off to a slow start. So I actually see the Panthers at home upsetting the Raiders. Mark, let us know. Raiders, Panthers.
I don't think either one of these teams are going to be that good this year, but I'm going with the Raiders in this one. Derek Carr is a pretty solid quarterback, and honestly, I think Teddy Bridgewater is in the same category. I don't think he's that good. I think they're both kind of in the same echelon of quarterbacks. So they might just cancel each other out tomorrow. Both got pretty solid running backs. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's a beast. Josh Jacobs, that guy, if you get him in third down situations, 1 yard to go, he's going to get it for you. Goal line situations, he's almost a lock to get you 10 touchdowns this year just because he's a workhorse and they just give it to him all the time at the goal line. But if you're going to talk defense, I guess we'd give the edge to the Panthers, but I just don't think Panthers offense is going to be able to compete with or score enough points to beat the Raiders.
See, I've always, since he has started in the league, I've always liked Derek Carr. I actually think he is underrated, honestly. I think Derek Carr is an above average quarterback. You agree with that?
I mean, you. It's so hard to tell because like if you look at his year last year, like if you were just looking at it objectively, you'd be like, oh, he didn't have that good of a year. But if you look at his stats, they kind of say otherwise. That's kind of how he's every year. He's just kind of sneakily putting in stats.
I like the way he throws the ball. I think he's got swagger in the huddle. Like, he's a good leader. I like how the ball comes off his arm. It looks good. It's tight. I think he's a good quarterback. Once they get that offense locked in and good to go, he needs some receivers. He doesn't really have any big-time receivers, but I think Gruden will help him out. That's enough for Raiders-Panthers. Let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, I don't need to waste my time with this. Colts are favored by 8. That's disrespectful. I think the Colts win by 10 or more. Now, it is a divisional opponent in Jacksonville. Side note for maybe the one other Colts fan that watches this podcast, Colts have not won a home opener since 2013. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes. Andrew Luck's second season. Since then, the Colts have lost every week one every year. So that's a stat I'm looking to get rid of. And also, the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. So both of those stats, I'm trying to get wiped out. That's a totally different team, totally new makeup, new era for us. So those stats kind of don't mean anything to me. But Phillip Rivers, man, he's got protection. We got the 1-2 punch. We got a healthy receiving core. Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner heading that defense, man. So excited. I think we beat Jacksonville by at least 10 points. Jacksonville just lost Fournette. They ain't got Ramsey. They got the stash at quarterback, but that ain't enough, man. Come on, quit playing. Colts win by 10 at least. Mark, let's hear it.
Yeah, I got the Colts too. Jaguars are in self-destruct mode. I don't know. They're just giving up on the world. So, yeah, let's get the Colts. Yeah, easily win by 10. I agree with you. I really want to see. This is going to be a nice warm-up game for Phillip Rivers. So they got a pretty good week one, I think. So this would be a good tune-up game for him to.
It's going to be nice and hot down there. And that was another Shea Shoe-ins, and he took the Colts. Awesome. Love the pick, bro. All right, so next we got the Browns at the Ravens. Last season, I'm pretty sure the Browns actually upset the Ravens. I think it was like in the first 2 weeks. Of course, the Ravens went on to win the rest of their games. I don't quite see it happening again. I do think it's going to be close, though. They've got Baltimore by 8. I like a one-score game. I'm high on Cleveland bouncing back this year, but Lamar, he's going to be swagging out again week 1, ready to go, former MVP. I like J.K. Dobbins' addition. I think Marquise Brown has a big game, and I just think the Ravens will be too much. Their defense is good enough to slow down Cleveland's offensive attack, but let me just say, Kareem Hunt to me is a huge X factor this year. He wasn't that much last year, but now he's had the whole offseason with them. They just signed an extension. Watch out for Kareem Hunt. He could be a difference maker. Give me Baltimore. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Baltimore too. I don't think there's really much of a debate here. I think they're going to wipe the floor with the Browns. But one thing I am curious about this year with the Ravens is their offense was historic last year. And usually that doesn't happen 2 years in a row. It just doesn't keep happening.
No.
Teams figure out what to do with you. So I'm curious what NFL teams this year are going to do with that offense, because there's no way they can keep that up. I mean, obviously they can still win a bunch of games, but man, it's fun watching Lamar Jackson play. I haven't seen anybody this fun in the NFL in maybe ever. I mean, maybe he's just so fun to watch. I mean, I'll tune in to watch almost all his games this year. So give me the Ravens.
I'm sure they'll have plenty of primetime games.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go to my upset of the week. Mark had Dolphins over Patriots. We got Chargers at the Bengals. Now, neither one of them are really great to me, but again, I'm going based off of what the professionals are saying. They got the Chargers favored by 3 on the road. Tyrod Taylor, I don't really understand that. So I'm going to take the upset of the week. I'm going to take Bengals over the Chargers. If you look on paper, Joe Burrow, obviously very talented. Joe Mixon, A.J. Green's finally healthy. Tyler Boyd, man. I think the Bengals are going to have a low-key great offense this season. If their defense can step up, again, they don't have to stop much. I mean, Tyrod Taylor is not like he's some baller stud in the league. Their best players, Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. But again, Taylor's got to get them the ball. So we'll see what happens there. But at home, I like the Bengals to open the season 1-0 against the Chargers. I don't see a slump for Burrow, man. I think he's going to look good this year. So are you in agreement with me, Mark?
No, I think I got the Chargers in this one. So you're not a big fan
Love
of
the
Tyrod Taylor?
Chargers. No.
I
Wow,
think he's
man.
a pretty solid. He's a solid quarterback. I mean, if you look at his stats, he's kind of been screwed out of a lot of jobs. Like when he was in Cleveland, the fans just wanted Baker Mayfield. Like
Yeah, and Baker came in and won right away. Taylor wasn't winning.
I don't really. And then in Buffalo, the same kind of thing happened with Josh. I mean, he's just kind of had a unlucky career, if you ask me. I'm not saying he deserves to be the starter on any football team, but I think he could easily carry or help a team get to the playoffs. I mean, especially if there's a good defense behind him. Not saying that's the Chargers, but just want to give a little love to Tyrod Taylor. But yeah, I got the Chargers. I really don't know how good Jordan Burrow is going to be. I want him to be so good because he was incredible in college, but I think he'll have to adjust to the game pretty quick. And that might just take some time. So, especially being rusty, hasn't played a snap in the NFL, no preseason. I think I'm gonna give the edge to the Chargers just because they do have a rookie quarterback on the opposing side.
Yeah, but I mean, I like mixing on the ground a lot this year. I'm actually gonna kind of pull up Tyrod Taylor so we can learn a little bit about him. In his career as a starter, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He's 23, 21, and 1. So very average. That's very middle of the pack.
Yeah.
His best season threw 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. So he was a Pro Bowler 1 year in 2015 with Buffalo. Started his career with Baltimore, never really started. He had 3 seasons. He's actually been a full-time starter. 3 seasons in Buffalo. 7-6, 7-8, 8-6. Doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but also doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns. So he's very, I guess you could say, Alex Smith-esque with some scrambling abilities. But I'm Justin Herbert all the way.
I mean, I like Justin Herbert too. I mean, but I just wanted to give the guy a little bit of love.
I understand. There you go. Tyrod Taylor, Mark's a fan. All right, so moving on to the 4:25 games. We got probably the biggest game of the week, Buccaneers at the Saints. Very excited to see this. It's going to be a top 5 offense versus top 5 offense.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the key is whose defense is going to play the best. Whoever's defense does the best, I think wins the game. I think it's going to be New Orleans. They're 3.5-point favorites. Give me that, man. I see a very tight 3.7-point game. Give me the veteran Drew Brees against Tom Brady at home in the Dome, Week 1. No way you can let Brady and the Buccaneers come in there Week 1 and beat you like that. So give me the Saints. Sean Payton will be ready. Mark, are you going a different direction on this?
Man, I really want to, but yeah, I got the Saints in this one too. I think they have a lot to prove this year, like every year, and just like every year they have to come back from having a very disappointing loss in the playoffs. They usually start off pretty good in the season, so I could see it. I could see the Buccaneers just kind of figuring things out. Tom Brady's going to be extra rusty just because he's so dang old. And that offense, I mean, he obviously has some weapons and stuff, which is going to help. But yeah, the Saints defense is just a little better. Actually, they're a lot better, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. So I got the Saints in this one, too. I think Drew Brees is probably feeling like, he wants to give it to old Tom.
Old Tom. It's old Drew Brees, too.
Hey.
You know what I mean? They're both old. It's like the Grandpa Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So just real quick, you're picking the Bucs to win the division.
Yeah.
You got the Saints winning Week 1.
Slow start for the Bucs this year, but they're going to, they might go on like an 11-game win streak this year. Like that team is good. Like, just looking at them on paper, that team could be incredible. But I could see them starting off kind of slow.
Okay. 4 games left, guys. Cardinals at the Niners. I was so tempted to take the Cardinals in this as my upset, but I don't want to put all my eggs in that Cardinals basket. I've been talking about them all offseason. I like the Niners at home. Honestly, I don't know why. It's just one of those things where it's just like, I feel like they're the better team. They're probably going to win. But don't be surprised. I'll take the Niners at home. I like the Niners defense. I actually read something, though, from between weeks 13 and to the end of the season, the Niners' pass defense was terrible. And Kyler Murray in both games last year against the Niners, fantasy-wise, really tore them up. So I don't think it's the Niners' defense is going to really be that big of a deal because Murray can get out of that pressure so easily with Nick Bosa and stuff. Plus, they lost Buckner on the line. Sherman's a year older, and no one's going to stop Hopkins. I mean, come on. No. I'm sitting here convincing myself maybe I should pick the Cardinals. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, man.
There you go.
I'm doing it.
There
I'm taking the Cardinals.
My man.
And next week, when we come back and do week 1, I hope I'm right. I was going to take the Niners. I'm switching it. Give me the Cardinals. Upset. Niners are favored by 7. I don't care. I'm taking Arizona. Slow start for the Niners. They got a Super Bowl hangover. Mark, are you on the bandwagon?
I'm on the bandwagon, and I think Kyler Murray is going to tear them up. I can't wait to see that game. That game is going to be pretty fun to watch. He could easily have 400 yards. I mean, I say easily, but that defense is great. But 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, he might put up an incredible stat line. And the 49ers just won't be able to keep up with it if that happens. So I'm going to take the Cardinals with the upset.
I have a fantasy question. I have PPR. I have Kyler Murray at the Niners or Josh Allen at the Jets. Or, sorry, you know what I mean. Against the Jets. Who would you start? This is not our league, by the way.
It's tough because Josh Allen gets you those rushing yards, too.
I know.
Oh, man.
The Niners' D is better than the Jets, so Josh Allen has a better matchup. But to me, Murray's just better all around.
I would go Murray with that one. I think there's a lot of potential.
I might go Murray. I'll be a game time decision on that. All right, Sunday Night Football. Dallas, America's team, Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams in the new SoFi Stadium. Dallas is actually favored on the road by 3, and I'm going to take Dallas to beat the Rams. I really like Dallas this year. Hopefully they live up to their potential. I think the Rams take a step back. It would really suck to lose in your brand new stadium on Sunday Night Football Week 1 to the Cowboys. But I think it's going to happen, man. Zeke has a big game. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams, like you said, have a new stadium. Last year they just underperformed. So there's no way they're going to lose to the Cowboys, right? But you're wrong. The Cowboys are winning this game. And I could
Wait, I picked the Cowboys.
What'd you say?
You just said you're wrong, didn't you?
Oh, no, rhetorically, not you. But
sorry.
I was talking talking to the
audience. I was like, whoa, I'm on the record.
No, I'm going with the Cowboys. I think they're going to be really good this year, and I do not like saying that. I don't think anybody does that's not a Cowboys fan, but, man, their team is stacked, and they have a lot to prove this year, too. And Dak's trying to get himself, that Patrick Mahomes money, so we'll see what happens. I mean, the Rams I just think the Rams are just kind of be the same place they were last year. And Jared Goff is not that guy.
Now we switch to Monday night games. And I might give some people a heart attack here. First game of Monday night, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Giants. And dadgummit, hashtag Phillip Rivers, here I go again. I'm about to change my pick, man. Because, one, I kind of want us to have different picks so that it's more dramatic for our overall records as we keep it this season. And I just got this gut feeling, man. I see Big Ben coming out and kind of laying a pooper. And I love the Giants' offense. I'm taking the Giants at home. I just changed it. I was going to take Pittsburgh. Give me Danny Manny Jones. Give me Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard. At home, Monday night on the lights. I just see Big Ben maybe stinking it up week 1. He's rusty, dude. He had a big-time surgery. So give me the Giants at home. That's all I'm going to say, man. Am I crazy? Who you got?
Yeah, you're crazy. I got the Steelers. I could definitely see Roethlisberger being a little rusty, but the Pittsburgh defense is very good.
It is very good. It is very good. But Saquon
And
is.
the fact that almost everyone on that team is going to be extra rusty just because, James Conner didn't play a lot last year.
Juju was hurt.
Juju didn't either. Yeah, Juju wasn't really in the offense that much last year.
You sure you don't want to slide on over?
Not a chance. The Giants are going to be terrible. But
No, they're
I'm
not.
No, and I hope that you quit using the term Manning for Daniel Jones, just because in 3 years from now when he's the backup for Tyrod Taylor on the Chargers, I don't want to keep hearing that name. That's embarrassing to the Manning name.
Danny Manning Jones, future Pro Bowler.
Whew. We'll see.
You're crazy. All right, so you got Steelers. I got Giants there. I like it. This also could be interesting. I want to see where you go here. Monday night, again, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be in bed by the halftime. Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. I don't think the loss of Von Miller is going to change my mind. I'm sticking with Denver Broncos at home. That's a tough place to play at Denver. You know I'm high on the offense. A lot of young, uprising stars. I think Denver's D is going to be a little tough to run on, so that takes out Tennessee's best player. I still think Henry has a good game, but I don't see him popping off for 100+, 2 touchdowns, things like that. Tannehill will struggle week 1. They have a good secondary, so give me Denver at home starting 1-0. Of course I'm taking Titans to lose. That's my division. Ride bull up. Who you got?
I got the Titans in this one. I think losing Von Miller is a big hit. He wasn't just the heart and soul of the defense. He was the heart and soul of that team. That guy.
He was.
Easily future Hall of Famer. The dude just, he knew exactly what was going on every play. No matter what they were coming at you, Von Miller was like, oh, I'm going to be right there. You can't replace that, and that's hard to lose. I think that defense is in trouble, and Derrick Henry's just, if he gets past the defensive line, it's going to be, once he gets in the secondary, he's going to cause some trouble. I see Derrick Henry having a big game, and the Titans winning it.
All right, I like being split on a couple different games. It makes it interesting, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode. We are going to keep Mark and I's weekly record posted so we can see who's winning throughout the year. Mark, once again, thanks for joining us for week 1. We will have you back again next week for week 2, previewing week 1. Guys, please share and subscribe, like and follow the page. Mark, any last words? What is one huge week 1 bold prediction off the top of your head? I know you're on the spot here.
Let's see. Bold prediction would
could be
Tom
anything.
Brady throwing one. Let's see. Tom Brady throwing 1 touchdown, less than 200 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty bold.
I'm gonna go with that.
So a terrible day for Tom
happening.
Brady.
And I could see the media eating that up too. Like, oh my gosh, he's past his prime, blah blah. And then Tom Brady's gonna get into that inner fire and go crazy. So I think it might be the best thing to happen to the Bucs. Lose the first game. Tom Brady played terrible. Everybody questioned how good that team's supposed to be. And then next thing you know, they're off on that 11-game win streak.
All right, we'll look forward to that storyline. Guys, we love you. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on Hunt's Hot Takes.